Sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
The following presentation is intended for immature audiences.
Recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Stay tuned. The stream is about to begin.
Hi guys, I'm Lex.
And I'm Liv.
And today
we'll be the judges.
There we go.
Okay, what's one thing that drinks.
Liv's a weirdo. She didn't bring a drink.
I decided to go drinkless. I have a lot to say today, so
I got a Coke.
Can't waste my time.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to open it?
No, I got it. No.
Ew. Okay. What's one thing that pissed you off this week?
Well, mine kind of goes into why we're doing this. So you do yours first.
Okay. Something that pissed me off this week is
Everything.
Yeah, a lot of things. I was just really pissed off this week. Everything's making me mad. I was overstimulated, like literally all day.
She's just stressed out and tired.
Yeah.
You seem better since you've gotten sleep this weekend.
I just have so much anger that I want to hit something. You know, like I need like a rage room. No. Like I need a rage room. I need to get my anger out on something, you know? So I'm going to scream a lot today.
Not too loud so that it doesn't fuck up the
No, it's
the
fine.
Audio.
I know. But I'm going to...
You can be passionate, but let's not scream.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's what
That's
what I mean. I'm not going to scream, but I'm going to talk passionately. Okay. What pissed you off?
What pissed me off is kind of the reason why we're doing this today.
It's not an act of love.
So basically,
you make me do too much labor all day, every day. Disclaimer. All of this is not for everybody. This is not what everybody has gone through. This is not speaking for others. This is not putting our facts in your head. This is not pushing you to do anything. This is opening your eyes to what is actually happening. And if you don't believe in it, then that's on you. But we're just gonna tell you the facts and some experiences that we've had or that we know others have had or just in general. But we are laying down facts, and if you cannot accept that, then that one's on you. And we do not want any fighting in the comments, nothing like that. This has nothing to do with anybody but us. And if you agree with what we're saying, okay. And if you don't, I don't really care, because we are telling you facts, not what you want to hear. Sorry.
We know it's not every employer. We know it's not every man. We know women do bad things too. We're just talking in general. The majority, basically.
Exactly. Not all men are bad. Not saying that all men are bad.
Not all women are good.
Exactly.
Oh,
and essay is talked about, and what else do we talk about in here? Sensitive topics will be talked about.
Sexual assault, rape, abortion, miscarriage.
Your mental health is worth more, so if you know that you cannot sit through this, that is 100% fine.
We'll see you next episode. It's going to be a fun one.
But your mental health is worth more than watching a podcast. So if you don't feel that you can withstand talking about these things, then we want your mental health to be okay. Over.
Love you all.
Yes.
Anyways, but just saying, if you keep watching,
it does get funny.
It will. We'll make something funny. I don't know what.
We'll
find a way.
You make me do too much labor. I silenced myself.
Okay, so basically, on our TikTok account, which follow it if you don't.
This pissed me off too. I'm actually gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull the receipts up.
Yeah, but I know, but it's not in order. Comments aren't in order, which is really weird.
Well, yeah, because
Love you so much. Okay, so
I
basically,
love you so much.
on our TikTok account, I posted a TikTok about Women's
Happy
Month.
Women's History Month.
Yeah. So I posted a TikTok about that, and I just said, like, here's a reminder, women are strong, and then kind of explained, like, our story, like, just, like, things that make us strong. And I used the sound that she just sang.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so, like, nice and, like, normal. Like, I don't know. I didn't
Jesus,
say
did you take it down?
No.
Oh, you just posted a lot.
I know. And this girl commented, like,
So
men can go through all these things too.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I didn't post anything saying men couldn't. I just said we did, and that makes us strong.
So she commented, men can go through all of this too. Mind you, she's a woman. Like, okay, queen.
Did you see what the one girl commented? That's why she thought I was a man. And she was like, and that's why no girl wants you. And she's like, I am a girl. And she was like, oh, well then why don't you get it?
So another girl commented, why do people feel the need to say this? Like, it's like saying white people have issues during Black History Month. It's not about you guys. Again, thinking that she's a man. And then we said, never once did I say that men can't, but women are looked down on for it. Women are told that they are weak when in reality they hold more weight and hold back because of opinions of others. She said, Lomo, I am a girl. There's a reason men say boys don't cry, because they are seen as weak for it. So many things of girls saying, I like to make men cry. You can just feed into making a competition of who has it worse. Comparing a mental thing is just not it. Comparing essay situations is not it.
I never was comparing.
In the video, it says, since it's National Women's History Month, go watch the video if you haven't.
I'll put it in. The little slides that I put in.
Yeah. So it's basically just talking about literally everything we've gone through.
Like, just saying that we're strong. It doesn't say nobody else is. It doesn't say men aren't.
Doesn't talk about a man once.
No.
So, this happens to men too. Now, comparing work wages, not being able to be hired at a job, that's more man dominant because you're a girl.
Which I would understand if I was comparing the two.
Compare that, not mental health.
But I wasn't comparing anything.
And then the girl who was defending us said, then why don't you get it?
Because she
Talking
said
about she's a girl.
She said that she's a girl.
We said, I never said all women. I'm specifically talking about how we are strong. We are not saying anyone is weak, but showing how we are strong and what we've gone through has nothing to do with anyone else.
No, but like, it was just kind of like, there's like so much more. Like, it literally kept going on and on and on. And her thing was like, you're comparing, which I wasn't comparing. And it was like, well, women also do the same thing to men. And I was like, I never said women don't hurt men. I never said women don't like do the same things men do to women. But let's look at the facts of the situation, that it's more commonly a man.
Yeah, so I clocked her tea.
I clocked her tea in my video after.
Well, I clocked her tea in the comments.
I clocked her tea in a fucking video.
She said, took the world with couple literal, let's also see how many women out there have murdered their kids, sexually assaulted people a lot. It is not the gender, it's a corporated mind. Mind you, same thing. Mind you, more men murder than women, number one. And secondly, 81% of women report assaults and only 40% of men report it. And she said, and then I said, look at the stats. And majority of people, not just yourself, men get all year. When people see a man cry, most think, oh, why is he crying? If a woman is crying, they're put, oh, she's just on her period or PMOing. So shut up and get out of the damn DMs because you lost this comment, hun. She said 40% of men report it because imagine the men that don't.
Imagine the women who don't. Don't worry, I get into that. I have that in here. But then I posted this great video, and I got.
And you can put that one in too.
Right here. Hi everyone. So, with this comment going on, I think I need to explain some things here. So it just happens to be National Women's Month. And just as if it was Black History Month or Pride Month, people are going to share their stories for their category that society has put them in. And all of these months for these specific categories of people have come because of the way they have been treated, they've been put down, or looked as less than others. Sharing your story, no matter what it is, if it's important to you, it's important to share because your story could help somebody else out there. And yes, there are good men in the world. There are women who hurt men in the world. I'm not saying men can't go through these things. I'm not saying men can't be hurt. And I'm not saying men cannot be victims to these things as well. But statistically speaking, women are looked down on more than men. If they're emotional and sad or upset, it's because they're on their period. Women are just expected to do things for men. They're expected to just move over on the sidewalk because a man's walking. If a man tries to talk to a woman, say at a bar, and she says, no, thank you, the man will continue to talk to her. But if she says, no, thank you, I have a boyfriend, then he stops. Men respect the boundaries of other men more than they respect the boundaries given to them by a woman. Women are just expected to be moms. Women are just expected to stay home with the kids, raise the kids, cook the meals, clean the house. If a mom does something for a child, it's just because she's a mom. She should. But in most cases, if then a dad does something for the kid, he will be praised. Oh, he's such a good dad. Oh, he's such a great person. I'm glad that the dad is in the life, when the mom is doing all those things, but that's just expected of her. 1 in every 6 Americans is sexually assaulted by a man. Now, don't worry, I have my citations. So, fact checking, here we go. 1 in 9 girls and 1 in 9 boys under the age of 18 experience sexual abuse or assault. 82% of all victims under 18 are female. Females aged 16 to 19 are 4 times more likely than the general population to be victims of sexual assault. And again, I could go on and on. But that right there is showing you why women deserve a month. So yes, it's not all men, and yes, men can be good people, but unfortunately, most of the time, they're not. So I hope you learned something. All the women out there, happy Women's Month. I hope you have a great month. I hope you know how special you are and how important you are and how important your thoughts are. Keep sharing your stories.
So, what we did, normally we have our iPads, but we went
old school.
We went old school and we have a notebook. Can I talk my notes?
So, in honor of National Women's Month, this is...
Well, have you seen the shirts on TikTok that have like the that's kind of like the important things that have happened?
This is some important...
And this is just since the 1900s, so like honestly not that long ago. Like,
yeah.
This is some of these are
starts in 1900.
Yeah.
Like and it's women gained property and wage rights. So they gained the opportunity to stray away from a man and own their own property of a sort without a man's approval, and work to actually get paid and not just work as a volunteer or a mom. So they actually get paid. Was it a lot? No. Was it as much as a man? No. Will that ever change?
No.
One can hope, right? In 1910, women could wear pants. So we could own a home before we could walk outside in pants.
You had to wear a skirt. Or like a dress.
Enough said. In 1920, only white women could vote. Only a white woman could vote.
Well, I don't even think... Oh, I think only white men could vote at this point, too.
Well, yeah.
So
African American minorities had absolutely nothing.
That wasn't until like Martin Luther King, right?
Yeah.
Or Abraham Lincoln. Which one was it?
So Abraham Lincoln was our first president. I don't know. Oh no, George Washington. Abraham Lincoln was...
He did something.
Not in the 1900s though.
I thought he was.
It was a long time ago. Hold on.
He did. Didn't he do something for
1809?
Oh, well then what did he do that was so important?
I don't fucking... Oh, he freed slaves.
Oh, okay. That's what he did.
1924, Native American women became citizens of their own country.
Yeah. They couldn't even be a citizen of
America.
Their country.
Yeah. In 1963, women gained equal pay rights.
So questionable.
Which, when you look at the facts...
They got the rights, but it doesn't mean it happened. Like, they got the right to get as much as a man. But no, they don't have to get as much as a man. It's kind of up to the employer type of thing.
So, on an average, a man earns more than a woman about 16% to 22%, or about 84 cents more. So 84 cents for every man's dollar. So a man earns $1, a woman earns 84%. No, 84 cents.
No, a man earns $1. He gets 84 cents on top of that, when a woman will only get the $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this pay gap is throughout all of industries, education levels. It doesn't matter. You could have the same exact
Job credentials.
You could have, if a man worked the exact same that a woman did, he automatically earns more
Now,
money.
obviously, that's not everywhere. There are places that
do equal.
But we're just saying, there's for everything that we say today.
Exactly.
We know it's not everything. We know it's not everybody. We know it's not whatever.
So in 1969, women were allowed to initiate divorce. So we could, I'm just going to dial back a little bit. We had property rights and wage rights. We could possibly get paid the same as a man. We could vote, but we could not divorce.
Initiate it. A man had to initiate it.
In 1972, a woman could not get birth control without a man.
So she could finally... Now, 1972. A lot of you, your parents were probably born
By then.
or close to being born. This wasn't long ago because your parents were probably born, or children, or like depending on how old you are and how old they are. But this was around that time, so it might seem like a long time ago number wise, but it's really not.
Yeah. In 1974, a woman could buy a home and get a credit card without a man. And
so you could get property, but you couldn't get a house. So you could just have land, basically.
May I add that all of these say without a man.
Right.
None of them say anything else. They all say you can get this because you don't have a man now.
No, like they could do it without their approval.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to have a man to do this stuff. You don't have to ask
for permission to do it anymore.
So, just saying. Not all men would, right? In 1988, women could own their own business without a man. So you could own a house, you could own land, you could divorce your husband, but you couldn't own your own business, right?
They'd probably have to be, like, it could be like the women's business, but it probably would have to be under the man's name. The man would have to somehow be like the face of it instead of the woman being the face of it.
Yeah. In 1993, by this point, all of your parents are born.
And maybe some of you.
And gained legal protection against marital rape.
Yeah, before, if that were to happen and you were married, it was just, you're married.
You're married. That doesn't
It doesn't matter if you want it or not. You're married.
You're married.
That's what you're supposed to do.
You're there to serve your man.
Right. And then they were like, actually, you can say, I might be married to you,
but I don't want it.
But I don't want to tonight.
In 2015,
so you all bitches were born.
Yeah.
And if you weren't born yet, please stop watching.
Yeah. You should not be listening. Women can marry each other. So
2015?
Yeah.
10 years ago.
A woman could marry a woman.
10 years ago. Wow.
Correct.
I'm just saying, that's just like crazy. That's only...
In 2022, women fight to get Roe v. Wade back. And in 2024...
to 2028.
Women continue to fight to keep Roe v. Wade.
To do anything. Are you going to do this one?
I can.
I feel like you'd be good at this one.
So...
This is Mr.
No.
Oh, this is the impacts.
No, we're going to do this professionally.
Yeah, this is the impacts.
This is Donald J. Trump's impacts on women.
You're not going to say professional.
No.
It's okay.
Okay, so I have a little bit to say about this one. So, Sex Discrimination Act of 1975, which states that you may not discriminate a person based on sex, marital status, employment, education, or training. So you can be walking down the street as a cop or as a human being, and you cannot discriminate anybody on that street judging by how long they've been to school, what they look like, how they act. the way they present themselves, and you may not discriminate against them because they may not have a
Their
home. They may
gender.
not be
Sexuality,
exactly.
gender.
It doesn't matter. You cannot. And that was the act of 1975. I believe it. Yes, 1975. And I also have Trump said, and I quote, "Women, we love you. And if you really loved me and you really loved women, right, you would put in the effort to try to fix rape, not rape women." Because this is not about politics, whether you love him or you don't. He has raped women. And if you don't believe those women, then finding something nice to say. Give me
That's
a second.
on you.
If you don't believe these women, then no, I'm gonna be kind.
No, you're not.
No, I'm finding it. All I have to say is, if you don't believe these women, then you don't get to say. Let me reword. If you don't believe women by what they say as the truth, then you don't get to say that you're fixing a woman's life when you don't believe them. And that's all I have to say. This has nothing to do with whether you want to kiss his ass or whether you want to suck his toes or whether you want to kill him. This is all aside. These are straight facts, and these are stating true things. Whether you love him or hate him, this is what's happening. If he wants to fix women's lives or make women's lives easier, then let's fix the fact that we have a rapist as our president. Just saying, whether you love him, whether you love him or you hate him, let's lay the facts down. A convicted felon rapist is our president. I don't give a fuck how you believe in him, whether you see him as Jesus Christ himself or you see him as dirt under your shoe. I'm gonna say this a bunch of times. It doesn't matter. He is a convicted felon and he has raped over 24 women. I can pull up their names right now if that's really what you need.
But like a convicted felon can't vote. So he couldn't even vote for himself.
In the state of Florida, they can. Why do you think he lives in Florida? Convicted felons get a lot of things in the state of Florida. Why do you think he lives there? If you want to better a woman's life, you would give them justice and make justice easier for them to get. Sorry.
Just pull it back a little bit.
If you loved women, then you would make justice easier for women to get, judging by literally anything that happens to them. Men are looked at in the justice system.
The justice system.
Men are looked at in the justice system as superior than women. They're looked at as always telling the truth, and they are viewed as superior than a woman who is coming up. They don't get a period, right? They don't have a lot of emotions, correct? Apparently this is judging by what other people say, right? So justice would be easier. Safety would be way easier. I wouldn't have to, there wouldn't be buildings, right? If safety was this big thing and cops, not all cops, but if safety was this big thing and cops are these superior people that make life so much easier, why, when you go to tell somebody that XYZ has happened to you, that you've either been raped, sexually assaulted in general, man or woman, okay? This could go for man or woman. What were you wearing? Why does that matter? Why does what I'm wearing matter? Just because I'm wearing a crop top and shorts, that doesn't say yes on it, does it?
Mm-mm. No.
Right? It doesn't say, please touch me. It doesn't say, please look at me, right?
In America, there are nude beaches. Just because you're on a nude beach and you're not wearing clothes does not mean you can do whatever you want. That's the same thing like a sex worker.
Wearing clothes is not an automatic yes.
Wearing clothes or not wearing clothes is
because guess what? I was in a princess dress and it still happened to me. So if you want to ask what I'm saying, what was I wearing? A princess dress. I was wearing leggings and a long sleeve shirt. Just saying. If we're going to put that in it, let's put it in.
I was wearing a hoodie and a sweatpants.
What do 3-year-olds wear? Let me see. My princess dress, my princess heels, my sparkly leggings with my top that had Tiana on it, or Pocahontas, or Cinderella, or somebody, or my Spider-Man shirt, or my Batman pants. Did that really turn you on that much? I thought so. Children's safety. on the topic, children's safety would be way better, right? I wouldn't have to worry about traffickers. You don't have to worry about going to certain parts of the state just because of different rates and different statistics. I'm just saying not all men would, but the stats, just saying, I'm bringing facts in. There are different parts in the world that say if you have a children, this might not be the best place for them. I'm just saying, and if you have a problem with it, this is not the thing to say. Okay, this is not the podcast to be watching. This episode. Watch the other ones and they're fantastic. This one, maybe not so much because we have different views. I have a brain, I'm educated. Some people aren't. Nobody should look at anybody as an object. This goes again with the clothing. This goes again with the way somebody acts. This goes again with the Sex Discrimination Act of 1975.
Question.
No person is an object.
Question. When a man is raped, are they asked, what were you wearing?
According to the commenter, yes. Because a man can go without a shirt, right? But a woman in a small... Men can wear Speedos. If you don't know what a Speedo is, here it is.
You can see everything.
And here's a bikini. Actually, here's two different kinds of bikinis. Here's one that's showing a little bit more, right here. And here's one that's showing a little bit less, right here. Both of these are apparently seen as sexy, but a man in a Speedo, it's fine. Completely fine. It doesn't matter. He's just in a bathing suit, right?
Right.
He's just swimming. He's just trying to swim. And when a woman looks at him and is like, ooh, he's fine. Oh, he's cute. Look at him in that Speedo. It's like, ooh, you're disgusting. But I can walk down the street and get catcalled and a man is completely justified for it. Thank you very much. In the reproductive rights, so he's putting abortion restrictions, right? He's putting abortion restrictions on whether that state wants to implement that or not. It doesn't matter. They're still being brought up in the system by a man who raped women, convicted felon, and looks at women as objects. Sorry, I need a moment. Who also doesn't have reproductive rights, can sit in an office and tell me what I can and can't do. If God, not saying that personally I would get one unless it is necessary, but I would love to know that if something happens where I would need one, or I go to have a birth and it's a stillbirth, but there's no way I can get the child out without needing a medical abortion, which is also known as a miscarriage. I would like to know that I would have the opportunity to stay living.
I have a definition.
I
want to read it.
Okay. I have my iPad at home, and I actually have this exact thing written in it.
So this is the definition of an abortion. An abortion is a medical procedure that ends an undesired pregnancy by removing the fetus and placenta from the woman's uterus. And it can occur spontaneously. Miscarriage is considered an abortion, but a spontaneous abortion. Which I've heard a story of somebody who genuinely needed an abortion because their child was had died in the womb, and had that not happened, she could have died. So you already lost the baby. The baby's already dead, if you want to say that it's a baby yet. And she could have died. And that's the thing people fight for.
Yes.
That's the thing people are fighting for.
Yes.
Because if you have a miscarriage and it doesn't pass all the way, if you have a stillborn, it's considered an abortion.
Yes.
Getting it taken out.
Yes. Medically taken out. Medically taken out.
They're still going to happen. They're just not going to be safe.
He's taking some equal pay protections. He is weakening laws and enforcements that state that women should get equal pay. What are you doing?
Sorry.
Former President Barack Obama, whether you love the man or hate the man, this is what he put in. So despite the passage of the Equal Rights Act of 1963, which required men and women in the same workplace to be given equal pay and equal work, or more known as the gender gap, in April of 2014, President Obama signed an extensive order to prevent workplace discrimination and empower of workers to take control over negotiations regarding their pay. In addition, he signed the presidential memorandum. I think, directing that the Secretary of Labor that inquires federal contact to submit in data an employee's composition by race or gender, helping employees and employers take proactive efforts to ensure fair pay for all of their employees. So we put in a thing that you have to submit your statistics on men and women and just pay in general, so that the government can say whether this is okay, whether it's low, whether this is above or below minimum wage, whether this is okay for it to be, looking at the statistics of women and men in the work field. And Donald Trump is taking that one away. Workplace rights. He's taking away the protection against pregnancy discrimination and paid for family leave. So if you take family leave, he wants to take away the fact that if you take it, you still get paid your hourly wage.
Who's using a family leave more during a pregnancy?
A woman.
Because she's, I don't know, expelling a human out of her vagina.
Okay, but here it goes for the men. Okay. Men get less paternity time.
Right. But they didn't have a major surgery.
Okay.
As a woman.
Okay, you're correct. But
she's playing devil's advocate here.
No, I'm playing both sides.
That's what devil's advocate is.
I am stating that since the woman had the surgery, whether that be a
natural or C-section?
A natural or C-section, she cannot take care of a baby by herself to her full advantage.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So for the men's perspective, maternity leave should be as long as paternity leave, or maybe not as long, but longer than it is, because a woman cannot take care of the baby to her full extent by herself after a major surgery such as giving birth.
Right.
And a man,
another partner needs to be with that woman until that baby is fully back and is fully okay, or the woman is capable to take care of the baby. So 2 weeks of maternity leave or paternity leave is not enough to, number one, take your kid to a daycare or to some care of a sort. You can take more time, but you're not going to get paid.
Exactly.
Which, how is that helping?
Mm-hmm. Babies are expensive.
Babies are expensive, and you're taking away their money because they have to care for another human.
Yeah. He's putting a law in that states that it is harder for a woman to get this, judging by the way she looks or money or...
Not even women, it's just making it harder for insurance companies to provide that coverage.
And I'm getting sick and fucking tired of it. I'm sorry, I tried to stay professional throughout this whole thing, and it is actually paining me. The fact that people can look at this and figure out, yes, please, this is what I want. And if you said no, he wouldn't. He would never do that. He's not trying to take away marriage or same-sex marriage. He's not trying to take that away. Then why did he just sign a bill stating that it's going back to the Supreme Court? Whether the Supreme Court passes it or not, he still has hatred for people and the way that they think or the way that they are. This is not a mindset. This is a fact. It's not a mindset or how you think or what you want to be. You cannot put a bill on love.
No. Have you ever seen a lesbian TikToker? They look about 20 times happier than I've seen any straight TikToker.
It's not even about that. Doesn't matter. That's just putting more pressure on them. That's okay, TikTokers, whatever. Social media isn't real.
Right.
When you see somebody who is trying to be themselves but is getting shamed for it. I know people at my school who get frowned upon because of the way they look or the way that they are or who they are. You cannot put a bill, or you cannot put a law, or you can't put something that is forcing people's brains who are wired a certain way just because Donald Trump is wired the way he is. However the fuck he's wired, something went wrong in the process of that. Just because he's wired wrong and is wired the way that he is does not mean that other people are wired the same way. Now, everybody has the same views and political, whether that be political, facts, it doesn't matter. People have different ways of thinking, correct? And what I'm saying right now, I know there's going to be at least more than 100 people going against me, and that is okay. I'm fully capable of comparing my situations and going against what I have to say with what you have to say. And I have facts that's saying, if you think no, he wouldn't, there's facts saying that he would. So if you can look at him and say, yes, okay, he wouldn't do it. All right, you don't think he would. That's on you. The way he is wired is different than some way that other people are wired, and sometimes that is a little bit more educated than others. Not everybody's on the same reading level. Not everybody is on the same math level. Not everybody has the same exact way of learning. Some people are visual learners. Some people learn by just knowing it. Some people can look at it once and know exactly how to do it. Some people need that extra mile, that extra step, needing that help. Not everybody looks at things the same way, and I think that's what we're missing in this world. We're missing the fact that people are different. People don't look the same. People don't act the same. People have different ways of thinking. And that is what people are trying to take away. And that is the problem. You can't take away the fact that I may not learn at the same speed as other people. You cannot take away the fact that I'm passionate about what somebody's not. You cannot take the way that I'm educated on things that other people are not. And you can't look down on me for it either. Because I know more facts than you does not make me less than, or does not make you less than. You just didn't do your research like I did. And that's that. You can't take away facts. You can't say and look at things that are statistics, stating things that are going on in this world and saying, oh no, that's not real.
So this is one more bill that kind of goes with the Trump impact, and then I'm going to go on to review it history. So this is a bill that wants to be passed. It's called the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or the SAVE Act. So what this act would do there would be no more mail-in, like mailing in ballots, no online stuff like that. And you would have to use your birth certificate or passport. So what this bill would do would make it harder for people with documentation issues. The
undocumented aliens?
But not even undocumented, even just ones that have documentation issues, even if they are legally here.
The undocumented aliens, as people like to call them.
Trans people, if their name is changed, and women who have changed their last names due to marriage. Mm-hmm. So if your voter registration or whatever ID you're bringing does not match your birth certificate, you are not allowed to vote. So anybody, even if it's a first name that was changed, if your birth certificate does not match your ID, you cannot vote. Which is a way to make it not necessarily that they can't vote.
No, it's minimizing votes.
It's going to make it harder for them to vote.
Especially women who take their husband's last name.
And doing the no mail-in ballots, no online is going to hurt the people who are disabled, who can't get out of their house to go and vote, who are sick and immunocompromised that can't get out of their house to vote. They can't do that for their safety. They're not going to be able to have a say in things because they can't get there.
I'm under the age of 18.
Right.
I have plans on changing my last name.
Right.
Due to reasons that
it doesn't
if
matter.
You've watched the podcast, then you would know.
But it doesn't matter. Why?
But that's besides the point. Why the fuck why do you care? Why do you care? Why do you care? My birth certificate says something else than what something on the state registered. It doesn't. I don't give a flying fuck what my name is. My name could be fucking Suck My Toes, and I would not give a shit. You are taking away rights that people have had for years and years and years. Before voting was even called voting. Before voting was even called voting. It doesn't matter. You're taking away rights of things that people have had for years. Hundreds of thousands of years that since America actually was founded by supposedly the Pilgrims, which is false, because Native American and Indians were on here way before fucking Pocahontas was here, before John Smith. All right? That's common sense. Princess movies done by Disney shares that. If you think that you can take away basic rights such as voting that has been put in law for women, I don't know when men could vote. Probably since the fucking dick riding years
the first
George
election.
Washington coming in on his little horse making fucking thick pudding, all right? Put a feather in his cap.
I called it macaroni.
Exactly. Fucking macaroni penguins could vote before we could.
Wait,
Women
wasn't
could
it
vote.
Uncle Sam. 1920?
Yeah, 1920.
White women.
Only white women, sorry, getting a little close. Only white women could vote. So you're taking away since 1920, but since before, probably, 19 BC or something? Like, I don't fucking know.
Wasn't it like 1700s was the first president? But even then, it was only like rich white men could vote. George Washington.
So in George Washington, the first president of the United States, serving from 1789 to 1797. So we'll just say let's see here. Since 1789, before humans were barely documented at this point, if you were in trouble with the law, that's when your name was put in and that's when your fingerprint was in. If you've never been in trouble with the law, it was harder to find you and figure out where you were because you were not documented in basically anything. You might have had a birth certificate, but you could have changed your name just by saying, my name's Samantha, but I want to go by Sammy. So now my name is Sammy. So I could go anywhere and say, hi, I'm Sammy. Nobody said you have to say Samantha. Your birth certificate says Samantha, but you could have told Joe Schmo on the street that my name is Sammy, and that's your fucking name. Whether you want to vote as that, whether you want to be called that, doesn't matter. Your name is what you want your name to be.
But your name isn't on when you're vote. Like, your name isn't on anything when you're voting. You use your social security number.
Exactly. So why are we bringing this in? Names were not brought up. The only name that is known to vote, if you know them, is the president or your family. So whether my birth certificate says something, my social security card says something, my mom, her social security card and birth certificate say two different things. So that her vote apparently is out the window.
And she changed her last name.
And she changed her last name for marriage. And she's going to change it again.
On to
Continue.
This. Okay, so this is kind of the Roe v. Wade,
Rundown.
what happened. So it was January 22nd, 1973, which it was overturned January 2022. So, but in this, it began in 1970, but it was won January 22nd, whatever. It was between Jane Roe, who was later to be found out was Norma McCorvey, against Henry Wade, who was a Texas official, something like that type of thing. So this was going off of the 14th Amendment, this part of it, which is, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So, don't kill anyone, which is what people were saying was going on. So they were disagreeing with Roe as the right to just terminate pregnancy. She was kind of just fighting for, if I want to end it, I want to end it, no matter where it was. And they were kind of disagreeing that it should be forever, whenever you want, basically. And they came to a balance with it. There needs to be a balance of fundamental rights to privacy with the state's compelling interest in protecting health of the pregnant person and the potential human life. So there was the balance between...
I'm looking at something really quick, but keep talking.
Between protecting the women who are going to be... who are already alive. They have had a life. They've lived a life. And the potential of that human life that they are carrying. So then they kind of came to the more of an agreement of basing it off of the fetal viability, which went off of the trimesters. So in the first trimester, they kind of came to the agreement that no state, no regulation was to be made for an abortion because a fetus was not viable outside of the womb during the first trimester. Now the second trimester came more regulated by state to protect the women. Like if the women needed to be protected and get an abortion, it was more state by state, but it couldn't just be done just because they didn't want it anymore. And then third trimester, obviously the fetus is by that point viable for the most part. So this is more to prohibit no case, and then you could be criminalized if you did, because at this point they were fighting that if you were to have the kid or whatever, it could be viable outside of the womb. And also in this, they banned the Partial Birth Abortion Ban Act, which prohibited the intact dilation and evacuation, which is a procedure done where the cervix is dilated and then they turn the fetus breech, so feet first. The feet come out, the skull is then collapsed to then have like the rest of the fetus out, and then the placenta is removed, which that was banned because of the way that it was the birth, and like it wasn't necessarily a
humane,
more sensitive way instead of just this. In a controlled, humane, circumstantial way. Okay. So then in 2018, Mississippi banned abortion after the 15th week, which is well before the fetus is viable. So that's the thing. And then the end of Roe v. Wade was more women had the fundamental right to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restriction. So there was restriction but there wasn't excessive.
Gay marriage, is that effective? Absolutely. How does it affect you?
I don't want to see it. Maybe the gay people don't want to see the straight people.
I'm putting it back because I'm getting it ready. This is what pisses me the fuck off. If you don't want gay people to be pushing on you, why are you pushing your straightness on them?
Found it.
If you don't like gay people showing that they are gay, then why? I don't like straight people showing me that they're straight. How about them apples? What are you going to do then? Why don't we take straight people's things away? Because I'm going to pay. Oh, please don't put that in. Food.
Whoa. But yeah, nobody's forcing you to be gay. Nobody's forcing you. I mean, maybe you should try it because maybe that's your problem. We just don't understand that it's actually.
I think every straight person that doesn't like gay people, I think they're secretly gay, and they just want to.
You're just mad because you don't have it.
Well, they're mad because gay people are in happy. Okay, again, not for all. Most gay people are in a happy marriage
because they you know what they do? Communicate. Straight people don't really know how to communicate. Sometimes, for the most part.
What was that? Like I don't understand. If you don't like people push. Let me finish. Let me finish my sentence. Okay. If you don't like people pushing their religion, their sexuality, the way they think on you, why are you? This is also another thing that I don't get about Trump supporters. Again.
Hey, we're not talking about Trump in this episode.
I'm sorry. Okay. We're not talking about Trump, but this is what I don't understand about uneducated people. Yep. They Yo, this is what I don't understand about people.
All right.
They can look at certain things and say, well, I don't want that to be there.
Look the other way.
Or you're pushing this.
You don't like the color purple? Nobody can like the color purple. The color purple can't even be seen. I don't want to see it.
Please don't show me the color purple.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Stop! He doesn't like it. Put it away.
It's...
Shut the fuck up. What if I told you purple was my favorite fucking color? It's not. But it is. It's in my room. It's in my home.
Pink.
It doesn't matter. If somebody told me, excuse me, you can't look at green anymore, well, suck my fucking balls. I'm going to look at whatever the fuck I want to look at.
You know what I think? Back to the gay people. Why? Wait, let me say this. Why I think they at times can be happier than straight people. Because they don't care. They don't give a fuck what people have to think because they're doing what they want to do because they're like it and they're happy. So I think they're more carefree and, you know, like I don't, you know.
I think that if we don't want to push anything on anybody, right? This doesn't matter. This goes with literally anything. This goes for religion. This goes for color. This goes for the way you think. This goes for education. This goes for breeding. This goes like literally anything. You name it. You don't want to be pushed to do something, right? Because number one thing is, when your mom tells you to do the dishes, all of a sudden you don't want to do it. You don't want to be pushed to do some things and stuff that you don't want to do. Why are you pushing what some people don't want to do on other people, right? If you see a gay couple, men or females or males, walking down the street holding hands, right? Then it's like, oh, couple. When you see a straight people walking around holding hands, oh, a couple. But when they're making out in the middle with clothes on, when they're basically having sex, it's, oh, these gay people are having sex in the middle of the park. Everybody look away. But a woman and a man, they can be making out, having sex in Central Park if they really wanted to, and people would be like,
I've seen people.
They'd be like, "Oh, love, they're making love. They're making love." But if a gay couple is just like peck in the middle of literally anywhere,
They're pushing it on the kids.
Exactly. They're making us do it. Oh my gosh, look, these people are kissing. They're making me go gay. They're making me look. They want me to go gay.
But I worked somewhere and I would see straight couples quite literally making out mid-restaurant. Like people were around, people saw. And they were just like okay with it. Like they were fine with it. They didn't feel any like need. Most of the time the gay couples I had were the most respectful. They were the most ones who like.
Well, that doesn't matter. That goes with the way that you're raised.
Well,
and I will stand by that.
But I'm just saying like they were still, I don't know.
The way you are raised says a lot about who you are as a person. Yeah. But it also doesn't. I think they go hand in hand because I think the way that you are raised can affect the way that you are, the way that you think, the way that you act, all of the things, all of the above, just in general. But I also think that the way that you are raised builds who you are today. You can be raised in a toxic household and you learn from the experience. It's about how you feel.
You can either take it and learn or you can take it and run with it.
It's about how you view certain things. If you are born into a toxic house, then you may think toxic when you get older. But if you're born into a toxic house and think, this is not how I want to live, this is not how I want to grow up, I want to be better, it's going to take learning, it's going to take time, but eventually you're going to get to where you want to be as a person. So for people saying, oh, it's about the way that you grow up, it's who you grow up with, it's how you grow up, yes and no. There's certain circumstances and certain people's mindsets that needs to be brought in. It's a mindset, right? And being gay is not a mindset. Being gay is it's not a way of thinking, like thinking that some people are superior than others. That's a way of thinking. It's an uneducated way of thinking. If you think you are superior to somebody else because you own a business, successful or not, if you make more money, if you have a home or you do not have a home, no matter how much money you make, that superior, like if you think that you are superior than anybody, no matter what, then that is an uneducated way of thinking, because no matter how you grow up, personally, I was growing up with the janitor is just as important in this world as the teacher or as the founder of the school or as the founder of the classroom or as, like, it doesn't matter. Everybody is equal in the eye of who you are. in a workplace, there's managers, there's CEOs, and there's workers, there's staff, there's like all of these things. And yes, the manager has a little bit more of say, but we are all equal. We are all on the equal playing field. We are all most around the same age. If we're working in the same spot, yes, one may be 15 and one may be 50 or 60 or 70 or 80. It doesn't matter. But eventually at one point, we're all going to be at the same level, whether you make money or you don't. And that goes again with the fact that life is a mindset. And if you are in the right mindset, then you think correctly. And if you are in the wrong mindset or you have the wrong way of thinking, then you're uneducated. And if you think, oh, well, there's no wrong way of thinking, you're correct. But there in the world, there's a right and there's a wrong. The right thing to do is follow laws, be kind, like all of these things that you were taught in elementary school. And the wrong is murdering, is like breaking traffic laws, breaking laws in general, like, right? That's like the thing, correct? Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, most laws are about safety of a person.
Exactly.
So making a law about...
After this sentence, I promise I'm done and we can end it and go get food.
Well, there's still the one part.
Okay, then say that. Her handwriting is booty buns.
I was going fast.
Oh.
So 1 in every 3 women in their life will experience physical or sexual violence.
So if there was another person on this... No, that doesn't make
That
sense.
doesn't work. But, so 91% of rape victims are women. 99% of the perpetrators are men. Every 60...
Again, there's 1% that are not men, okay? So if that's going to tickle your fucking fancy, 1% of 100%, 1% is a man or is done by a woman, all right? So if that's going to tickle your toes at night, that's what's going to make you rest your head on the pillow at night. There's that 1%, okay?
So
facts don't lie.
Every 68 seconds in the U.S. alone, somebody is sexually assaulted. So we've been recording for about an hour and a half. That means there have been 90 women since we have been recording who have been sexually assaulted.
We're going to take 68 seconds, okay? And we're going to show you how long and how short.
Seconds. Can I keep talking then?
No, because we're going to take a moment of silence.
Oh. Can I finish this one part?
Mm-hmm.
So 1 in 6 women and 1 in 33 men are victims of attempted or completed rape. So that's not sexual. This is different than sexual. I mean, it's sexual assault, but it's different than the other one. But 50% of all rapes and sexual assaults go unreported from both men and women from fear of stigma. Lack of trust in the law is a really big one. Being fearful of telling somebody that this happened because getting them in trouble.
So about 1/3 of gay men and 1/3 of bisexual men compared to 29% of homosexual men are reported in a lifetime of rape or physical violence. Bisexual women, about 46.1% experience sexual assault at higher rates than lesbians, who 13.1.
Whoa.
What? And homosexuals, heterosexuals, 17.1 women. Among gay men, 40.2% of bisexual, and bisexual, 47.4% of men are twice as likely to as a heterosexual man, with 20.8% to experience sexual abuse.
Why are bisexual women so high? They're just that good
no, because they can have either a man or a woman rape them.
That's true.
They can
anybody can have a man or
yes.
But I know what you mean.
But
they're put in a situation.
Exactly. Just because they like both does not make it automatically a yes.
Right. That's like saying you like every man just because you're straight. Or you like every woman just because you're straight. But the fear of the law and the lack of trust in the law is a big reason why a lot of sexual assault goes unreported. So 8 out of 10 rapes are committed by somebody you know. College women are 3 times more likely to experience this. And then 25 out of 1,000 rapists will ever go to prison. Do we see how small that number is? That's not 40%. That's 4%. 4%, I think, if I'm doing my math correctly. That is 4%. No, wait. No. that would be 25% if it was 250. 0.25%, even less. 0.25% of rapists will go to prison. 0.2. 2 point, what? What am I saying? 2.5. There we go.
Too low for me.
Way too fucking low. 2.5? That's like nothing.
Too low. Too low. And it is despicable. It is absolutely disgusting.
Okay, here's my last thing.
But it's not real. They're lying, right?
This is the last thing that kind of goes with this. So if somebody commits rape, a man for say.
Just
For say.
by facts. Men do it more. So we're going to say men. Women do it too, okay?
But for say that, okay? And they happen to get the woman pregnant.
Keep your fucking windows open at night. I'm going to tickle all your toes.
So a first degree felony would be 20 years to life in prison, okay? Second degree is 5 to 25. Only 5 to 25. Sagittary is probation. And then date rape is 5 to 15 years. Okay, so you do all those things. The girl gets pregnant, has an abortion. In some states, she can get 2 years minimum, up to life in prison.
And if you notice,
there's only one of those. Only one out of all 4 of those get life in prison. But you have an abortion, no matter the first degree, second degree, Sagittary, whatever. You could get up to life in prison. But the person who did that to you isn't going to get pretty much anything. And that's the problem.
and I know I'm going through the court system currently. At 3 years old, I lived in about 15, no. How many years did we calculate?
11.
11 years of jail, personally.
Mentally.
Mentally in jail.
Emotionally.
Physically in jail. And he has up to 5 is his lowest. Highest is life, but that's about 2 years, so. And life in jail is actually not life in jail.
Isn't it
25 years?
Yeah. And that's the issue with the court system, is that they say life, so you think, oh, for the rest of your life.
Mm-mm.
No, it's only 25 years.
Because a human's life is 25 years long.
Right. So, women are fucking cool, guys.
Men are cool too, apparently.
Shut up. Women are cool. Women are cooler, if we want to say. But
Women are, you know what? Fuck all you bitches. Women are cooler. Men can't fucking men can't shit out children. Men can't go through. Have you ever seen a man have a cold?
Have you seen a man on the side of on like a basketball court, a coach, when they get told they're wrong? Have you ever seen a man throw a fit?
A temper tantrum, if you will?
Because the ball got past the other team. Why are we running after balls? Oh, right. Anyways, women are pretty cool. This is why we have a Women's Month, because people don't know these things.
Because men get 11 of the other months.
Even still, with a Women's Month, they're still getting more. So yeah, that's our thing. That's everything. There's so much more we could say, but we'll stick with that for today. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm done.
You're done? All right.
Done.
Wow. We promise next week will be lighter. It'll be funny. But this was something that was super important to us. So we wanted to use our platform to...
In a positive way.
To speak for something we're passionate about and something that we believe is important. So that's kind of all this was. Hope you enjoyed.
Don't really give a shit if you didn't.
We'll see you guys here next week.
You can watch us on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts.
Today, we were the judges.
And you just got fucking served, bitch.